it. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you for you didn't explain a little bit. Can you explain a little bit more about the how can we get the best out of Siu Nim Tau and Chum Kiu and Biu Jee, please?
Yes. Okay. Well, Siu Nim Tau, as I said, you should learn to do it very slowly. People, whiz through it, a minute and a half, 5 minutes. That's nothing, right? Should at least do it, once a week for an hour. You stand there and your hands are moving in totally slow motion, okay? And then you start sensing. You start, it'll give you time to also checklist. There's so many details to look after when you're doing the Siu Nim Tau. You have to have that structure, awareness of your body structure, your upright, and you're also at the same time pushing your feet against, you're pushing your feet against the ground, and you're trying to push your head up the ceiling. There's the breathing involved. There's be aware of the path of your hand, the direction of the hand, the shape of your hand, your tan sao, wu sao, fuk sao. They all have certain shapes, just like, pencils or any tools, right? To make that tool work best, it has to have a certain shape. And you'll see tan sao in so many various hand shapes. No, there's only one best, right? So, yeah. So when you do your Siu Nim Tau, you got to do it, meditatively and consciously, mindfully, not mindlessly. All the forms. People, when they learn it, they do it mindlessly. They just they go through the motion, and they don't know anything anymore. They don't know what's happening. So it's hard on the knees, hard on the legs, hard on the feet when you do 1 hour, but you'll overcome it. Okay, and my students who do that always tell me, they benefited, a lot from it. Now, as far as Chum Kiu is concerned, so you're learning different aspects, different levels of Wing Chun. Siu Nim Tau is your fundamental. So very important, you're learning about the structure, your body's structure. That with everything, your house, your pencil, your paper has to have a certain type of structure. You can't draw on tissue paper, right? It has to have some kind of body to it, and the pencil also same thing. It can be all the time, breaking, and so on. You don't want to waste your time, all the time, sharpening the lead and things like this, whatever it is. So you want to develop that, and when you become very strong in your structure and almost immovable, then you start learning Chum Kiu, where you're learning to move that structure and still be strong. Okay, and that's where a lot of people again fail. They don't know. They're moving around. You can't. When you learn martial arts, you can't be using your normal motor skills. That's not what it's about. If you're daily going, opening doors and, walking up the stairs and, eating, those are normal motor skills. And that's a problem with a lot of Wing Chun school. They teach you tan sao and a punch is like a normal, the way you would do, take your hand up to, grab something. No, you got to be, you have to be aware, how you're supposed to do that. It's not normal. Just like you're learning to juggle. With normal motor skills, you can't juggle. You have to learn certain timing and the way your hands move and so on to become a juggler or a swimmer. You can't, you first go swim, you can't just go. No, you have the certain skills of learning how to move those arms and feet and breathe, right? So same thing here. You can't just, do it like, after you learn Siu Nim Tau, you can make this walk like you walk every day, just a little step here and there. There's a certain way of doing it, and I'm not going to reveal these things, to the public, because these are things again. Again, it can't. Even if I did it, it's not going to it needs to be tweaked. Just like, you could, go on YouTube and tell them, how to draw just verbally. It's not, that's not going to do it. The guy has to come to your class to really, to get the feel of it, and you correct them and so on. But just to give you some tips that it's about Chum Kiu is about moving the structure strongly. You're going to move just like a car, a truck. The truck has structure, right? It can't be a rickety, a jalopy machine. The body has structure. The movable parts will move. The non-movable parts should not move. It has to be stable, right? And this is where a lot of Wing Chun guys miss out. The Chum Kiu is a guy can advance, and I just have to put the finger on the chest, and they won't be able to advance. So there's no, and then they suddenly try to fight that. No, that's not how to advance, right? So I do show some stuff on the YouTube. There's one YouTube where I'm actually moving a dummy, a freestyle. I'm teaching my students how to walk like the Chum Kiu, 1 quarter step and 1 quarter step, and deliver that force to the dummy. My dummy is always freestanding so that I can move him, not pinned to the wall. So when I do the dummy form, I take from one end of the room and finish. The dummy ends up in another end of the room. It's about force. In the end, martial arts, it's about force. You can't. In daily life, it's about force. There's always some forces that's coming against you. Mental, physical, whatever. It's about dealing with forces. So the Chum Kiu, you got to have that body structure to be able to, make small move and deliver large force, right? So then comes the Biu Jee. Now Biu Jee, then you're getting to higher level. You're fighting guys who are skilled, more skilled, who are able to break your structure and imbalance you. Even though you're strong, and that they are so strong that they are aware of that. They're aware. They're not fighting you just throwing punches and kicks. Now, this is where most of the Wing Chun and other martial artists, there are only 3 elements in there. It's hitting, blocking, and I think it's hitting, blocking. Yeah, 2. But I was going to say punching or arms and kicks, right? So there's either kicking or punching and then blocking. That's all they do. 3 things, right? And they're not thinking in terms of structure and balance. Some schools focus on those, like so judo, jiu-jitsu focus on balance and balance mostly, and grappling, right? But I'm trying to incorporate when I teach. Yeah, so now I incorporate. I also teach. When I teach Wing Chun, I make the person become aware of his structure and his balance. And also when we're sparring, we're doing that too. So you'll see me on YouTube fighting on a very narrow area, a meter by meter table, or on just little poles, bars, and so on. So we're also always aware of this, our balance and structure as well. So we're not only just hitting, and so we would take the guy down or imbalance him, and also do grappling. All this is in Wing Chun already, and if it's not in Wing Chun, the principle is in there. Means if you can, if you're aware of yourself and your opponent, and you're aware of the environment, then you can fight standing or on the ground, or in the water, or in the air. Understand? So you don't. Well, some schools focuses on the ground or or standing. What happens if you caught in the water and suddenly, oh, I didn't take water training, No, but if you become aware with this, your body, after all, it's one body versus another body, right? And if you can, understand that and the environment, the awareness, you will adapt to it. Yeah. So the Biu Jee will teach you when you're imbalanced how to, come back and recover, and and you're using some very sophisticated tools. There's some more tools involved, right? So you should have already perfected, come close to perfection of the basic punch and, palm strikes and kicks up to the Chum Kiu. Then comes, in the Biu Jee, doing some elbow hits and, some, takedowns and, tripping and, some swinging hits using your, different knuckles and those things. So a lot of people say, oh no, Biu Jee is it's more for recovering. No, I say no. It's, every fight is about recovery. There's no, there's no perfect fight. You're always trying to recover from something. So right from the beginning, you are learning. In Siu Nim Tau, it already teaches you some of the recovery things. When something doesn't work, how do you make the change? It's in there already. So when it comes to daily life, again, we think about it. All our lives, we need some kind of structure. We can't be going about loosely. Some things we got to shoot from our hips. Not everything has to be in order. So you have to understand both. There are parts you got. I mean, say for example, your values, your principles, has to have some structure and stability, right? Then there's other things. Okay, you have to be more flowing when dealing with people. You can't be all stuck your way. So you have to be a bit mobile, flexible, adaptable. So Wing Chun teaches us. So when I'm sparring, it happens. I do it all the time. Right? I can't say I'm fixed. No, I'm going to stay grounded. I move when the guy can move me. Understand? Otherwise, I'm going to fall. But I don't also move easily. All because the guy looks like he's coming forward. I don't move back like everybody does. Now people are always fighting, this way, this way, this way. No, he comes, I'm going to move in. Right? I'm going to test this. How good is his balance and structure? And if he happens to be has that, and he weighs more than me, and he moves me back, I move back. But if not, he crumbles. Doesn't matter. He has more mass, but he doesn't know how to use his mass. He's gonna get crunched. So that's life. You deal with life this way, the same way. You got to. I was told by my teacher, you got to have always once on one hand 1 spoon of sugar and with the other 1 spoon of shit. You got to give whether it's wife or children, you got to trade it once in a while. You can't just be giving sugar. You can't always just be giving shit. So and the same thing. There's a balance, and the whole aspect of Taoism, right? The yin and yang talks about that. It's about the harmony of balancing. There's going to be black and there's going to be white, but it's always finding the medium. So my way of teaching martial arts, the first thing I do is neutralize. I don't go and just go to hit a guy. Yes, I go to hit a guy, but once he touches me, right? I neutralize that contact. I mean, I find out how much force it is. If he's putting 3 newtons of force, I put 3 newtons and it neutralizes before I do the next move. I don't add that. If I find that he's only putting 2, first I put 2, but after the 2, if he increases, I may decrease mine, or if he decreases, I might increase mine. Right? So when you neutralize and the person is not aware of the neutrality, he's lost. I'm aware. I'm in control. So the neutralization, same thing with your daily life. You don't just, if you constantly, fix your stubborn and you're thinking of, your point of view, right? Then you're blind. And then, in fact, the guy can, pull the rug on you because, because you only see one way. And so this is what we do in martial arts, right? When the guy puts too much force, and we take advantage, his force, and he's overshooting his force, so he gets imbalanced. I take the advantage to imbalance him more, right? So the same thing here in physical. So you learn a lot in life. that, sometimes you learn things, mentally, and you can apply it physically, and sometimes you learn physically and apply it mentally, right? So same thing, yin and yang, right? So you must learn how to balance that. But a lot of it comes with age, and a lot of it again comes with our culture, Asian culture. We're already taught to yield from young, right? It's unlike the Western, where you're taught, you're right, you fight it right no matter what, you know, if you have to give your life for it, you do it, right? But Asians, no, let him win this time. We'll come back and take him out later when the time is right. Or, your parents always tell you, hey, give it to your brother, or whatever, this kind of yielding. So we already have this, in our nature. So Kung Fu comes a bit easier for us because we learn to yield, right? Whereas the Western philosophy is about, always, kind of, parents already kind of push you, in the Western, to try to make you tough. So you grew up that way, being, not to be pushed back, and so you always deal aggression with aggression. So consequently, it gets acted out physically, right? So when I teach, it's even the Western women nowadays, they're very, they've become hard. But you start, dealing with teaching